One bright and breezy morning in the playroom, Sparkle the unicorn was practicing her most graceful prances, her glittery mane catching the light. Bolt the remote control car was attempting a daring figure-8 maneuver around a stack of colorful blocks. Suddenly, a perfectly round, shimmering sphere drifted silently into the playroom from the open window. It floated gently, catching rainbow colors on its delicate surface. "Ooh!" Sparkle gasped, stopping mid-prance. "What is that beautiful, shiny ball?" "It looks like a floating rainbow drop." Bolt zoomed to a halt, his headlights blinking. Beep beep. "It's so light. And it's see-through. Is it some kind of new flying observation drone, Professor Paws?" Pip the tiny plush mouse, who had been napping in a soft slipper, poked his nose out. Squeak. "It's floating." "Is it a tiny, magical balloon with no string?" Professor Paws, the wise teddy bear, who was admiring a new picture book about the sky, looked up and smiled. "Ah, my friends, you've spotted a most delightful and ephemeral thing. That is a bubble." "A bubble?" Captain Awesome the action figure repeated, leaping down from a bookshelf. "Is it a containment field for microscopic aliens? Or perhaps an invisible shield prototype?" Professor Paws chuckled warmly. "While your imagination is wonderful, Captain, a bubble is much simpler, yet still quite magical. A bubble is a very thin film of soapy water that forms a hollow sphere, filled with air. That's why it's so light and can float." He continued, "The soapy water makes the film stretchy and strong enough to hold the air inside. The beautiful rainbow colors you see on a bubble are caused by light reflecting off its thin surface." "And why is it round?" "Because a sphere is the strongest shape for holding air with the least amount of surface area." Just then, the shimmering bubble drifted close to Patches the plush puppy. Patches, curious, reached out a soft paw and gently touched it. Pop! The bubble vanished instantly, leaving only a tiny, damp spot on Patches's paw. Woof! Patches yelped in surprise, looking at his paw. It disappeared. Where did the bubble go? That's another fascinating thing about a bubble, Patches, Professor Paws explained. They are very fragile. When the thin film of soapy water breaks, the air escapes, and the bubble pops, vanishing just like that. Dolly the doll, who had been watching with wide eyes, said, "So a bubble is made of soapy water and air. It floats, it's round, it has rainbow colors, and it pops easily?" A perfect summary, Dolly. Professor Paws affirmed. And making a bubble can be a lot of fun. You usually need a special soapy liquid and a wand with a loop. You dip the loop in the liquid, and then blow gently through it, and a bubble forms. Suddenly, more shimmering bubbles began to float into the playroom from the window. It seemed someone outside was blowing bubbles. The toys watched in delight as the beautiful, fragile spheres drifted and danced in the air. Sparkle tried to gently nudge a bubble with her horn, but it popped. Bolt carefully drove under a low-floating bubble, watching its reflection on his shiny red paintwork. Pip tried to catch one, but it popped on his whiskers, making him sneeze a tiny, soapy sneeze. Captain Awesome declared it was his mission to observe and protect the bubbles from premature popping, though it was a very difficult mission indeed. The playroom was filled with giggles and wonder as the toys interacted with the fleeting magic of the bubbles. They learned that a bubble, though temporary, was a beautiful and fascinating thing. A bubble is a tiny, floating marvel, bringing a moment of joy wherever it goes. Professor Paws said with a smile. If you enjoyed our kids' story about the magical bubble, please float over and subscribe for more wondrous word adventures. And tell us in the comments, what's your favorite thing about a bubble? Or have you ever tried to catch one?